Darchinyan says this very well could be his last fight in this division if he doesn't get Nonito Donaire. Guerrero, on the other hand, comes down from bantamweight, where he has fought most often. And the rules, remember, this is a WBA, WBC title fight. The WBC is the organization in charge. We will not, however, have open scoring. No 3 knockdown, no standing 8. The ABC rules, as was the case in our first fight.
How will Vic Darchinyan come out? Like a roaring train, probably. Rodrigo Guerrero facing his first southpaw. Man, that's in deep early. Here we see Darchinyan. It'd be interesting to see. We have not seen tape on Guerrero. He is the mystery man. You know, is he a brawler? Is he a boxer puncher? He looks like the much smaller guy, guys.
I want to look for nerves right now. That's what I want to see, not so much style. Look at the difference in amateur experience. Darchinyan, an Olympian. Guerrero, 20 amateur fights. Not unusual for a Mexican fighter to have so few. And in pro experience, well, Vic, 215 rounds. That's a lot. By today's standards, anyway.
Guerrero in the navy blue has to keep his wits against the renowned champion Vic Darchinyan, and a hellacious puncher as he clips the Mexican with a bit of a hybrid right jab hook. Double jab from Darchinyan as he's trying to walk to Guerrero. Guerrero keeps his distance. He's in the blue on the right. Now Guerrero goes to the body as he tries to get aggressive. It's turning into a body infighting here early, and they're starting to trade.
Guerrero's chin wide open when he throws those wide shots.
Oh, yes. He looks very vulnerable, but Vic content to bang off the ropes. And as Guerrero stays mean, he says, I can't show any fear against this guy. And so far, he's not. But does he have to give him a little respect?
Well, you definitely got to give him a little respect. But I tell you what, Darchinyan knows he's in a fight right now. I mean, the Mexican's there. He's standing toe-to-toe. And that's what I thought he needed to do in order to gain Darchinyan's respect.
What you said, that set up this fight, Antonio. Now Darchinyan very flat-footed as he's walking, trying to get that jab working, at least to show it, and line up that powerful left hand. Guerrero misses with the left. He doesn't look that tight, but some cautious aggression. He knows he's got to be smart.
Well, you know, nerves can make you jumpy, too. You don't have to just withdraw.
Guerrero missed with those shots.
Maybe he's being more aggressive because he's nervous.
At least he's letting his hands go.
Yeah, and it looked like when Darchinyan had his back against the ropes, that he could have been caught with a big punch at that time. Because his chin was wide open.
Yeah, both guys hanging out there, so we'll see. But, you know, if you have to put your money on one big punch.
No doubt who is going on. Vic Darchinyan is a special puncher for this weight class. There's no doubt about that.
And it is natural. And there, a nice double left hand as he zips 2 in there, which could have won this round or put it away for him. And a flurry at the bell.
How do you feel? How did you feel? Give me some Vaseline. You're doing everything good.
You don't have to attack him like we spoke about here. Just relax. Now, if you start fainting, he's going to show you everything. Okay? Inside, just stay nice and relaxed. A nice short uppercut, short punches, you'll knock him out. Don't look for it like here, because you come down to his level. Faint, he'll show you everything. Up to
I think that's great advice from Angelo Hyder. Don't get reckless. There's really no need. He's going to walk into something, Rodrigo Guerrero. But I have to give it to Guerrero. And just in terms of body language, he basically smirked or laughed at the champion when that first round finished as he walked out back confidently to his corner.
Right, and what the corner was trying to say to Vic Darchinyan was that he has to use his experience at this time. He can't get excited and all out of control. That you expect from the young fighter, not the veteran.
Guerrero whips a left to the body, followed a right over the top. Again, Guerrero's never faced a southpaw. And he's looking at a guy with a murderous left hand.
And the reason,
Darchinyan.
Nick, the reason that left hand is so good, he throws it a bunch of different ways. Great uppercut. He loops it. He can throw it wide and he can throw it straight. And there it is. That's straight.
Guerrero's got to let his hands go, but he's very cautious in the second round. He's moving forward, trying to get a sense of distance, it seems, where he should be.
Yeah, I think speed instead of power will serve him good. He got to just let his punches go quick. He can't try to match power with Vic Darchinyan.
So at least punch with him, huh?
Punch with him with speed.
Oh, solid shots from both guys. That left hand landed from Darchinyan, but back with the right came Guerrero. Guerrero looks very composed, but one big shot could change all of that, of course.
Watch your heads, guys. Watch your heads.
But think about it. Guerrero with 15 fights in Mexico, limited amateur. You know, he's rounds away from, he's got 2 titles on the line there for him to take. It's amazing. But he got this shot this quickly.
The difference right now, to me, Darchinyan's much more relaxed. His punches have purpose. When Guerrero punches, he's throwing wild shots just to throw punches.
Guerrero really not been able to land cleanly. Now he's let his hands go, but just single shots. And Darchinyan taking his time, as you said, Steve. He's squared up now, but content to just barrel forward. One of his mistakes, as we talked about, was lunging in. We'll see if Guerrero could exploit that. Again, that was a big question. Does Guerrero have the skills and the goods to exploit the mistakes that Darchinyan does make?
Well, I think he has a lot of heart. He's shown that earlier tonight. I don't know if he has the natural ability to do that, to set that power up and catch Victor.
And this is where they banged in the first round as they're near against the corner in the neutral corner.
But I tell you what, he definitely doesn't have any fear, and that's a good thing.
That's the first hurdle.
You gotta stop with the belt, gentlemen.
Rodrigo back to us in the navy blue, now on the left, in the fight of his life against Vic Darchinyan, 2-time champion.
You're doing a super fight. You're doing a real smart fight. To the body. Don't stay in front of him.
Action from round 2. Why is Darchinyan so difficult to fight? You don't know where the punches are coming from. He uses what I would call the Fred Sanford offense, where he waves his arms all around, just like Fred Sanford did on the TV show Red Fox. Very hard to follow, very hard to know when he's punching, when he's feinting, and which punch is coming.
And he's just so physically tough and strong, you know, and willing to walk into shots to land at times. And he's felt Guerrero's punches and even 2 rounds in the books, and perhaps said, you know, I could walk through him maybe, but he's backing up there into a neutral corner again.
When Darchinyan went to the corner, he stood straight up. That's a no-no. I mean, he can be susceptible to get caught with a punch himself.
Guerrero punching, as Steve mentioned, wildly, but not really with the kind of conviction. You're right. That right hand had something on it, though.
Vic is throwing straight punches, and you know what? The hand speed advantages to Darchinyan is in Darchinyan's favor. Not something we usually associate with Darchinyan, hand speed, but he's the faster puncher.
And again, you know, this enigma, Rodrigo Guerrero, knew nothing about him.
Right.
He said eventually it's going to turn into a war. He's got to show some boxing skills here to win a couple of rounds, perhaps.
Or land some good punches, some good, you know, snap his head back.
Make him think twice a little, huh?
Right. And I was thinking, psychologically, who does this fight favor if it goes long? I mean, this guy is young on experience. If this guy take Darchinyan late 7, 6, you know, 8, 9th round, what does that do to Darchinyan's psychological advantage right now?
Yeah, we'll see if that happens. I mean, he'll go for the KO. You know, want to blast and maybe not get a little desperate, but he could very well do that, but still be losing on the cards and losing every round. because Darchinyan's winning him on aggression, it looks like. Darchinyan, the southpaw double super flyweight belt holder here. He's got both belts on the line. Nice left hand lands and makes Guerrero rethink. Guerrero doing very little offensively here. Not jabbing much against the left-hander. Those hands characteristically low by Darchinyan.
He's not jabbing none at all right now. He's going for that big punch.
Oh, watch your head.
And maybe that's inexperience. But if he can start jabbing 1, 2, 3s when Darchinyan get close, he'll be surprised at how much success he can have.
Even against the lefty, huh?
Yes.
Again, Rodrigo's never faced the lefty. Never fought in the United States. And he's fighting a world champion now on Showbox.
Be interesting to see if Guerrero switches to southpaw, which he occasionally does.
Only, he said, if nothing's working, and so far very little is.
Yeah, this round nothing's working. He's getting hit flush. He has a good chin, though, because I think Fix landed some pretty big left.
Now he switches as you speak.
He heard me.
And Darchinyan tried to find him with a sweeping overhand left and tries it again. That may discourage, yes, it did discourage the southpaw in Guerrero as he goes back to orthodox. Gee, not a lot of steam on those punches from Guerrero.
And you just got to let him go, just like that. Nice, short, and crisp. Combinate. He's loading up, though. That's the only thing. He just needs to throw combinations.
And a 3.
Give me that. Put it down in there. Breathe it. You're warming up now? No. Breathe first. Breathe. Champ, your speed is good. You're following me around the ring. You're not controlling the ring. You're doing one good punch, you're having a rest. You're doing one good punch, you're having a rest. Working back with the ace to the ropes. He's covering up here. Hit him underneath and you're cutting him in half. The uppercut's there. Working back to the ropes. Jab, ace.
Action from round 3. Darchinyan talks a lot about wanting to show his skills. Nice move there. He slipped a punch with his hands down. Always dangerous, but he understood the range, and then he countered with the right hand. Very nice move, and a boxing move, not a power puncher move by Darchinyan.
As we head to the 4th round, you know, Darchinyan's wanted this fight in the middle of the ring, but perhaps he'll start putting more pressure on and take Guerrero to the ropes. But it's been Darchinyan, the champion, who's grazed the ropes repeatedly in this fight. And when he's backing up, he's not doing much. And the openings have been there, it seems, for Guerrero there on the right. Now he's letting his hands go off that jab against the left-hander, but not that effective. Guerrero trying to dial in as he blasts to the body, but not much on those right hands.
Keep him up, keep him up.
Guerrero sweeping hook as he's not really using the jab much. Catches him with that right hand, but Darchinyan spins, and now he's back in the center of the ring.
He's still loading up with his punches. I mean, once he's settled down, he's still a little bit hyped right now. Work that jab and throw nice, crisp punches. He'll have some success tonight.
Left hand from Vic to the right hand, and then it looks like, and now he's trying to line up and taunt a little bit the challenger. Buries that left hand, some bruising shots to the body from Darchinyan as he is heating up here. He's in the center of the ring, but he's all action now as he blasts away on Guerrero.
Darchinyan's best punch is a left uppercut. The funny thing is, he's most vulnerable when he throws it, because he throws it from outside and his chin comes all the way up.
All right.
Guerrero has a little cut maybe over his right eye.
And Ray Corona just signaled to us, the referee, it was caused by a punch. Darchinyan has landed some solid shots in this round. He's on the left.
That's the little short-range punches that Guerrero needs to throw just to throw Darchinyan off. You just can't let him keep coming in like this.
Guerrero back to us now. Slow down his offense. And now he looks open as Vic starts screaming down the middle. The champion rushes him but runs into a little uppercut from Guerrero. Guerrero's fully game here, but he's
Take a step back.
He could be getting overpowered.
All right, let's go. Come on. Keep him up.
4th of a scheduled 12, of course, for Vic Darchinyan's 2 super flyweight world titles. Left hand from Darchinyan lands.
Wicked uppercut.
I know Vic, and I know he likes to back to the rope sometimes to give his opponent confidence and bring him into punching range. That's what he did before.
Guerrero doesn't know when to pull the trigger on that right. He's been too hesitant. Now Darchinyan with a little fake and trying to create some space now.
You're gonna stop with the bell, gentlemen, like a banana.
Guerrero very little on his punches as we complete 4 here in Rancho Mirage.
Stop. That's some fun.
It's a headbutt. It's a headbutt. It's little. It's a small cut. Give me the water. It's nothing. It's nothing. Don't worry. Give me the dark grease. Give me the Vaseline.
Look at that, look at that.
I said that Darchinyan's best punch is his left uppercut. Throws it from far away. Hey, if it lands and there's no counter punch, he gets away with it. But that is a leverage punch. Watch how far away he is when he throws that shot. And here's a butt later in the round, in round 4. And the referee ruled that there was a very small cut on Darchinyan's forehead. I don't see it now, but the referee ruled it was opened by a butt.
Left hand from Darchinyan. He's on the left. Here he comes. And now the crowd wants to see action. They want him to crank it up here. I think he's going to come out. He's flying now. A lot more urgency from the champion. He's got his back to us, and we got to see more out of the challenger. He's been very patient, but arguably falling behind. How do you have the card, Steve?
I have it a shot at 40-36 for Darchinyan.
A little welt under the right eye of Rodrigo Guerrero. Guerrero's got to push himself into the fight. He can't push Darchinyan back enough, and he hasn't been effective the times Vic has backed to the ropes in his own volition.
Take a step back. There you go.
Guerrero's bleeding pretty freely from that left eye.
Beneath the right eye, but that's not as much a problem. And Guerrero complaining about the headbutt from Darchinyan.
Guerrero came into this fight, and by his record, it indicates that he had some power, and he was a knockout fighter. But I don't know or see how he could generate enough power to knock out Darchinyan.
Yeah, let alone discourage him. You know, he's not making this guy hesitate at all. But as you talked about, Antonio, you know, we're only in the 5th round, but as we get into the second half of the fight, a champion against a guy 13-1-1 who's never fought here in the States, totally unknown, ranked very low in the top 15. You want to get him out of it.
Right, he's hanging around for 6, 7, 8, or 9. You start to question where you at in your fight game right now.
Straight right hand from Guerrero as he tries that tactic against the southpaw, the first lefty he has ever faced professionally. Guerrero waiting. He's on the left, trying to sink that right hand home. Mostly to the head, very few body shots as Vic connects as they punch together. A good left hand from Darchinyan. And it's Guerrero, the tough Mexican, showing his hardness there, but walking into shots.
Stop! Take a step back.
Well, he's definitely putting it all on the line tonight. He's trying to win, even though, you know, he's outmatched in some ways. We didn't know anything about him coming in, but I can tell you, he got a bright future.
Yeah, well, fear hasn't been in the picture for Rodrigo Guerrero. Punching ability in terms of power quotient, perhaps. Doing something to discourage the champion.
Well, I'll tell you, Guerrero, it's round 5. He looks like it's around round 17 for him because he's starting to breathe through the mouth. He's cut, and his body language suggests a fighter who's getting tired.
Well, will Darchinyan start to break him down? We haven't seen enough explosive offense to suggest that yet, but now, before the bell, Darchinyan is winding up. But the Mexican is full of fight.
It's nothing. It's nothing. Hit by hit. He's tired already. You got to keep on going to the body. You got to keep on going to the body.
Action from round 5 when Darchinyan jumps in. Sometimes this is going to happen. Ouch. If that Guerrero right eye wasn't in shreds before, it is now. That was a butt caused by Darchinyan, no doubt about it. Later in the round, Darchinyan toying with the right. And I'll tell you, Guerrero has a chin. And he's never been down as a pro. But he's taking the punches of the hardest hitting 115-pounder in the world.
And trying to come back with something of his own. What about timing those rushes of Darchinyan? Catching him leaning, perhaps.
Well, that's what he needs to do. He needs to be on balance and have his feet up under him when he does throw the punches. And like I said, if he can throw those punches straight, he'll beat Darchinyan to the punch with those wild looping shots.
Ray Corona called the time for the doctor to look at the eyes of Rodrigo Guerrero.
Cuidado con los patas, let's go.
And at the end of that round, Guerrero did have some success. He landed some shots.
Now his right hand is landing to the body. Guerrero is full of toughness. He can't punch like Darchinyan, but who can at 115 pounds?
Darchinyan setting the same trap again and again. Back into the ropes, drawing the Mexican and then firing that left uppercut.
Well, he is taking his time, but personally, I think Darchinyan, the champion, could fight with a little bit more urgency and start stringing some shots together.
And Darchinyan has a little nick over the top of his head, on top of his head. I don't know if it had to be a butt, but he's bleeding from the head also.
Well, tactically, he has not been that busy. Fighting in spurts, as he is now. There he goes, backing up again.
Stop! Take a step back.
And let's keep an eye out on Darchinyan's body movement, because like I said, he wasn't expecting a tough fight tonight.
You know, Vic in the past has let emotion get to him. He's staying very calm here. With Akbeko, he got angry at him at the weigh-in and he let it affect his approach. Tonight, very, very controlled performance.
And the headbutt early in that Akbeko fight, he said, completely unnerved him and he was going for the big KOs. He's not doing that now. It's been pretty workmanlike for the champion, but far from dazzling, I think, guys. And here comes Guerrero. Again, he doesn't have the firepower, but he's never stopped trying.
Right.
When do you get to the point where you stop believing, though?
Well, you know, this is a championship fight. You never stop believing. It's never over until it's over. So, you know, it only takes one punch, guys. I mean, you don't have to be winning this fight, going away. All you need is the perfect punch. And you got to let your hand go in order to do that.
Steve, what about Guerrero's firepower, though?
I don't see it. I don't think there is much. He's a little too telegraphed with his shots, a little too forced, where Darchinyan's punches flow much better.
Darchinyan with a solid left to the jaw. And Guerrero is bleeding again. He's got his back to us as he tries to drive the champion into a neutral corner and get rough with him. They tell him to keep the punches up. Darchinyan on his toes as he backs up. And it's Guerrero walking into a left hand, but Darchinyan not crisp with his shots either.
And you know, guys, I mean, to Guerrero's credit, I mean, what do we expect? I mean, he's born and raised in Mexico. All of his fights in Mexico, we know that they fight with heart. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be the most scientific fighter, but they win on heart alone.
He's made it interesting as we complete 7.
Great day.
Call it 6 and we'll be going to 7.
Hold this way.
Relax, please. Breathe deep. You're boxing beautiful. Hey, look at me. Look at me. Hey, look at me. Hey, breathe deep and look at me. Vic, look at me. Your right hand is working beautiful. Your jab. Hey, this one, Vic. 1, 2, the last one. You nearly knocked him. You see it? You see it? Let's move around. Let's feint. Let's box with our skill. Vic, let's use the jab and let's finish with the right hand again. All right? Give him another drink, Jay.
Yeah, wonderful.
You know, of course, people love people who can punch. You know, the little guy, the big guy in the small package. People want to see knockouts. Should he continue to follow that advice of Angelo Hyder, guys, or should he start cranking it up and being much more aggressive, as we know Vic Darchinyan could be?
I think Vic is fighting exactly the right fight. The other, the Guerrero, as the fight builds, I think Guerrero's just going to get worn down. I don't think Darchinyan should change a thing. He's landed big shots. 7 rounds or more, Guerrero only 3 times. Darchinyan, of course, a veteran of the 12-round distance.
And arguably, Rodrigo Guerrero has not won a round. Has he on your card?
No, he has not. I have it 6-zip for Vic.
So, in other words, just win. You don't have to look that good. All this stuff about, I want to flash my skills, I suppose he feels he is this way, Darchinyan, in terms of boxing.
Yeah.
He's boxing more now.
Exactly, and he has 6 more rounds to get a knockout.
Yeah, and I think he looks good. I mean, he's not showing any fatigue. That's a great straight right hand.
Mouthpiece out.
I'm sorry, straight left hand.
Come on, de volada. Let's go. Oh, no, stay with me. No, dame. Yeah.
Ray Corona watches the mouthpiece, and now we're back in business in the 7th. Darchinyan content to counter, wants to be first at times, and it's Guerrero short repeatedly with that right hand.
Well, he landed that one. It was a nice counter overhand right that he landed. I think Vic got too comfortable at that time.
Well, when he's trying to make the play, it's just not working. So maybe again trying to punch with him as he just walks in, Guerrero not throwing anything.
Game but green, Guerrero.
Right.
And I know that Darchinyan's picking him apart, but to get picky on his performance, I don't think he's making him pay enough. I think Guerrero's been open a lot as he walks in like that. And there we see Darchinyan sinking a left hand through. Darchinyan's left hand is very low, and Guerrero tries to flurry with him. He's wild and missing a lot.
Right.
Bleeding below the right eye now.
There was a 1-2 that, a left hand that Vic missed by inches, I think would have probably shut out the lights for Guerrero if he would have landed flush.
We'll be watching that, of course, that huge left hand from Darchinyan. But credit him, he's not going for the one big punch as he tries to set up off that jab and set up that left hand over the top. Darchinyan on the right. Walks into a little jab, but he's been far busier.
That's it.
One thing Darchinyan is not doing is what his corner wanted him to do, is finish the combinations with the right hook.
Well, he banged with the left there.
I think it's time he's using his timing right now to set up his power shot, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to be a more complete fighter tonight, and I think that's what we're seeing from the champion, Vic Darchinyan.
Boy, Guerrero won't go away. Darchinyan clocked him with that overhand left, and Guerrero soaking up punishment, but he's still full of fight as we close out this 7th round of this world title super flyweight fight.
Tiempo.
Bring the iron. Come on, let's be smart. Bring the Vaseline. Short punches, come on. Short punches. I don't want you following him.
Round 7, for the first time, it really started to become a beating. And you wonder, with a young fighter who's being outclassed, how the corner feels about it. And that there's a world title at stake, so I'm not suggesting anything yet, but how much longer will they watch their man get pounded like that?
Guerrero doesn't look like he has any intention of backing off, but, you know, I think 2 things. He's waiting too much on Vic, and he's also, when he gets inside, he's not nullifying Darchinyan's power, and he gets driven back there. Oh, he's getting clocked with major league shots. But look, he's just coming on bigger. But that's bravado. He's not coming in with anything effective.
Nothing effective. But what does this does for Victor Darchinyan's confidence and psychological right now? I mean, what does he have to hit this guy with to stop him?
Well, he's looking to line him up for that uppercut, it looks, that left uppercut, and have the Mexican run into it. Could be coming here. He shoves him off, Darchinyan.
He's setting him up, guys.
I think he is too. There it is. There's the uppercut.
You saw it coming. The left uppercut off the ropes.
Oh, Rodrigo Guerrero is just running into shot after shot. He just can't wait any longer.
Nice right hand by Victor Darchinyan.
Yeah, Darchinyan having a monster round and a terrible round for the challenger. Oh, he gets hit flush with the left, but walks in flat-footed, squared up, and full of fight.
Take a
But
step back, let's go.
when do you start losing heart that you don't have an answer?
Exactly.
He's losing technique, I'll tell you that.
I'm right now trying to figure out, is this the new Darchinyan or is this just an inexperienced fighter that he's looking great against?
Yeah, and Steve made a good point, I tell you, but why not? You still got time to drop this guy, to set him up. You could continue to box him and break him down.
Guerrero is swelling up really, really bad right now on both eyes.
Yeah, he's taking a pounding here as it's all Darchinyan offensively. Plenty of heart from both guys, but nothing in the way of effective offense from the challenger.
And Darchinyan going to the body a little bit this round as well, something he hasn't done much of in this fight.
Has not at all.
I think his corner needs to seriously start just thinking if he can't get off and he's going to take this type of punishment. Hey, he's fought hard, gallantly tonight. I mean, how much punishment should he have to take?
Exactly. You don't want to ruin a 22-year-old kid.
Yeah, and Guerrero looks so discouraged. Nothing's working. He's never stopped trying here.
Get off his ass.
But you can't muscle with Darchinyan. You're going to get the worst of it here. Those single shots are missing, and he's walking in to shots from the champion. Another big round for Vic Darchinyan. Closing out 8. 4 big ones to go. Will the challenger be there?
Championship, how do you feel? How do you feel? You're showing you're a great fighter. You're showing it right now. How do you feel? Okay, good. I'm going to be the new world champion. Vaseline, please. Want water?
Action from round 8, mostly one-way action. Darchinyan showing the diversity of his attack. He's going to land that overhand left. He's going to knock down 95% of super flyweights with that shot. And by trying to win, Guerrero is just taking a beating. Every shot Vic lands is flush. And this kid has some kind of chin.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I don't think Rodrigo Guerrero needs a pep talk. He needs some solid solutions on how to unseat this champion.
Yes.
So how does he start doing it?
And like I said before in the opening, I mean, he has to punch with Victor Darchinyan, but he also has to have something on his punches.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, just use your speed. Speed will kill.
Yeah, I mean, he's still motivated. You know, he's had his moments of discouragement, but he doesn't have the power to rock this champion's world, so he is in a huge dilemma, arguably losing every round as we're in the 9th. So he's got to pull something very big out. But he's got to start, as you say, by getting busy. With his back to us is the challenger, Rodrigo Guerrero.
Southpaw again for Guerrero.
I'm impressed tonight with Victor's. He's doing a lot of angles tonight and running Guerrero into punches. He's counter-punching beautifully in the last 3 or 4 rounds.
Guerrero landed a nice body shot, but again, they're single shots. Darchinyan is the guy boxing here, picking his shots. He's slowed down here in the 9th, and it's Rodrigo Guerrero just following him now and not letting his hands go. He feinted the right and just walked in and held on. Darchinyan on the move. Action's really slowed down here in the 9th. Darchinyan has never seriously been hit flush. It's been grazing shots. And part of it is Guerrero.
Good body shot.
Really just can't solve this left-hander. Guerrero trying to chase him down. And Vic is a very strong guy as he shoves off the challenger. Does it again. Waiting to line him up for the power shots, and he's unloading now. Guerrero tries to dig to the body again to the right hand with the right, but he's walking into a barrage of shots, really. There's that body shot from Darchinyan.
Darchinyan's going to have to knock Guerrero out. That's simple and plain, because this young kid is not going to quit tonight. He's fighting for the world championship. He may never get an opportunity like this.
He's just squared up and going at it. But nothing is working, and in the offensive flow, he's just really come apart. He's never been in sync against Darchinyan, and it's a simple matter of being outclassed, outfought.
No discernible game plan, really, from the very beginning for Guerrero. He's a natural counterpuncher. Vic is very difficult to counter against because of his awkwardness.
And the corner's telling him nothing.
And everything is arm punches. He hadn't put his butt into a punch yet. I mean, you have to turn your body into these shots. You can't rely on just arm. You're not generating enough power.
And they flurry at the bell. And the only thing in Guerrero's favor, he stood up to every hard shot from Darchinyan.
Vic Darchinyan has 2 belts at 115 pounds. And what's interesting about my top 10 here is that if you did a pound-for-pound rating, I would rate Nonito Donaire ahead of Darchinyan, because obviously he's knocked Darchinyan out. But at 115, when you look at who Vic Darchinyan's fought, Zigoras, Christian Maharis, Jorge Arce, Dmitry Kirillov, much tougher opposition than Donaire, who's only fought twice at 115 pounds. Big drop-off in quality after the top 2 guys. Nishiro's a pretty established champion. Jorge Arce got another title. They'll keep giving him title shots till he's 95. But it's really a 2-man division, and maybe we'll see them fight again. Maybe it won't happen till they're at bantamweight.
Round 10 here in Rancho Mirage. Our main event, Nick Charles, Steve Farhood, Antonio Tarver. It's World Super Flyweight Champion Vic Darchinyan, the left-hander on the left, against the challenger from Mexico, Rodrigo Guerrero. This is not a come-of-age fight for the challenger. He has had mucho problems against Darchinyan. Darchinyan's taken his time, and he's doing it again, electing to box, not getting into brawls.
You know, it remains to be seen whether this fight will go the distance. But when you look at who Darchinyan's fought, his 13-14 title fights, this is not the guy you'd figure would be the first guy to go 12 rounds with him.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, he wanted to come here to America and make a name for himself. We all know you now.
It's toughness, there's no doubt about it. But skills, we don't know about that at all. He just doesn't measure up. He's in another world, as Darchinyan's had it his way round after round. Darchinyan on the right. It's just a matter of boxing now. He's dropped the left hand. He'll throw an occasional jab. There's the hook.
An absolute perfect style for Darchinyan to show off his boxing skills, because the Mexican has been aggressive, doesn't hit hard, and is telegraphing his shots. Perfect opportunity for Vic to show the other side of his game.
As he continues to walk through the champion, and he gets belted back with a left to the body.
And Victor is using his legs more so for his defense. You know, he's evading everything, and he's giving this guy angles every time he gets close to him. I like that about him. I think Victor has gotten better. He's gotten to the gym and gotten better tonight.
Well, as a 34-year-old, we'll talk about that assessment. As you said, we'll talk about afterwards, but he doesn't seem to have dropped off at all.
I like the way Antonio calls him Victor. I like that.
Vic, my bad.
No, I like it.
Here comes Rodrigo trying something.
Work.
But coming up empty again. It's Darchinyan on the right. He set the tone, the texture of this fight. You know, Guerrero's tried to take the play from him and has never succeeded. Got into an early skirmish there and drove him back in the first round. Can't land cleanly. Real trouble against the southpaw as he comes forward and walks into that uppercut.
You know, at 22 years old, it's not too late for Guerrero to learn the skills and the trade to become a better fighter. And he can use all this experience tonight as a measuring stick on the things that he needs to get in the gym and work on.
He continues to press the pace here. The way his eyes are swollen.
Breathing through the mouth now, and he's squared up. He's a knockout waiting to happen.
Yes, it is. He's coming in with no head movement, straight in, and that spells trouble for him.
Darchinyan is trying to time that rush. A big left hand down the stretch in this round.
I want you to tell me the truth. How do you feel? How do you feel? I'm good. I'm good. That's what I like to hear. It's 11th round. You have to come out. 2 more rounds. Last 2 rounds. You got to give it all you got. You hit him pretty good.
Corner telling him he's got to win, but not how to win.
Maybe a shotgun?
That was a push. But, you know, Guerrero looks exhausted. And Darchinyan here, who knows, if he could find that opening, he could end it. Man, flush to the jaw with the right hand. So behind that left comes the right from Darchinyan again and again.
Yeah, he's picked this round to end it. I mean, he's really sitting down on those punches, and he's firing with a lot of power right now.
Yeah, that behind that left comes that right.
Vicious shots.
But here comes the Mexican, goes to the southpaw stance, continues to rush forward, and perhaps into a doomsday situation. We'll see.
We just hope that, when it's all said and done, that he's able to bounce back. But, these headshots aren't good for him right now. They're just not.
And it's clear Darchinyan hasn't been dented in the least. He's tasted what this guy has, and there's no fear in the champion.
No reason to be fearful. He can't get hurt.
No, he can't hurt him.
And that's why Guerrero can't win this fight.
Exactly. Guerrero trying to make it happen. He's against the ropes now. And action has slowed down a little bit here in the 11th. Darchinyan content to fight when he wants, and he's not being pressed because Guerrero tries to sneak in a right hand there, but he hasn't let his hands go enough.
And Victor's loading up on this in this round. He's loading up trying to put some serious hurt on Guerrero, and if Guerrero doesn't keep his head on a swivel, he's going to get stretched tonight.
With that said, how many really flush, evening-ending type of shots has Darchinyan landed?
I think he's landed a lot, Nick. I really do. So he's landed a lot throughout the fight, spaced out.
Come on, work.
No need to knock him out at this point.
Well, for Vic's psyche, there's a need because he can be the fancy Dan all he wants. He's a knockout puncher. He knows the value of that. That's why he's been on television so much. Believe me, in his heart, he still wants the knockout.
Absolutely.
And he's definitely trying for the knockout. He's setting him up with these counter shots. He's landing, but you got to take your hat off to Guerrero. He has a heart of a real warrior. Yes.
Watch out, you got him there, watch out.
Guerrero, tough as they could be 30 seconds ago in the 11th.
Don't push.
But he doesn't have an answer to the champion. Too much firepower from Guerrero, from the champion, Darchinyan.
Watch your heads, Accidental headbutt, accident. Watch your head, mira. Let's go, come on. Accidental headbutt. You're gonna stop in the bell.
Look at Guerrero coming at him. Little body slam into the ropes. And the Guerreros are upset in the corner.
Relax, what's wrong? Okay, man. You can do it, brother. Breathe hard. What's wrong? We're going to touch it up. You guys watch your head, both of you. Breathe the last round, all right? Breathe. Take this one. Let's go with this one. Just breathe. Quedar con todo. Vivo, las manos arriba, eh. No quiero que ya se tomó. Dele más agüita.
Give him some more water. Give him another drink.
Tómesela.
Drink it. It's okay.
Tómesela. Relax, Vic. Talkies, make a piece. Who gives him talkies?
Listen, brother. Listen to me. You've won every round. This boy's going to come out with the head, elbows, all that shit. Just to finish. Can you not get sucked in? Hey, just speed.
Es el último round. Protector. Protector, Don. Protector.
All right, 12th round. Be interesting now to see if anybody changes anything. Darchinyan doesn't have to change a thing. The challenger needs a 180-degree turn now.
Nick, I think I finally figured out what Guerrero needs to win. He's got Marco Antonio Guerrero in his corner. If he can borrow Guerrero's counter-punching ability.
There you go.
Guerrero fought in this weight class when he first started. That's all he needs, Guerrero's talent.
I think he could use Eric Morales in there with him, too.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt. He's got Morales' toughness, I'll tell you that.
Stop. You gotta stop holding. I don't want to take a point. Let's go.
A point would be academic, but Darchinyan warned by Ray Guerrero for holding. Darchinyan doing mostly moving in both hands down. This is typical of him. And now he'll stand and try to snap off a combination. And square as could be is the Mexican coming right at the champion.
Putting his heart on the line. I mean, he's pressing the champion even in the 12th round after he's taken a battering up until now. I mean, what else can you say?
He's been doing it all night. You're right, Antonio. Darchinyan letting his hands go, and he's waiting for the challenger to come to him. He's been moving nice and scoring occasionally and sweeping the cards, no doubt, here tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nick, with the three of us did not agree with the scoring in the first fight. I don't think we're going to have that problem in this fight.
Darchinyan's just control action here.
He's still shooting those knockout punches, though.
Guerrero standing in front, very little on his shots. The left-hander Darchinyan could walk away to another title defense. We'll see how he finishes here inside a half minute.
We're going to see the champ finish strong. He really wants to knock him out.
And that left hand, wow. The Mexican could take a shot. I thought those were the best shots of the fight, arguably. Flush on the jaw. And Darchinyan, you're right, Antonio. Let's watch it finish.
Stop. Take a step back.
Guerrero gets an A for toughness, but no more. Vic Darchinyan outclasses a gallant but overmatched Rodrigo Guerrero.
Buena pelea, cabrones. Haz lo que pase, alza la pinche cabeza, Muy bien, alza la cabeza, cabrón.
All I can say, Nick, if you told me before the start of the fight that Darchinyan was going to land almost at will with all his power shots against an inexperienced 22-year-old kid and not get a knockout, I would have said you were crazy.
I mean, we didn't know anything about Guerrero, and the thing we learned is that he can take a shot.
Yes, he can. And we don't need Vic Darchinyan questioning his power. He still can punch.
But now, look at the challenger here. As you said, live to fight another day. He's on his feet. I'm not saying he looks fresh. Yeah, he's beaten up, and he arguably didn't win a round, but in some small way, it sounds ridiculous, but it's a moral victory for him hanging with this guy and taking the best he had. But he's got to come up with more answers offensively to be a factor in the division.
Well, moral victory, but what price did he pay for that moral victory? That's the question.
He seems okay.
He seems okay, but you don't want to ruin a 22-year-old kid's career with a fight like this, which you can do.
And while we wait for the official decision, we remind you that later this month, the Super 6 Boxing Classic continues here on Showtime.
The tournament to crown the best super middleweight has begun. Reeling from his split decision loss,
Brock never fought anybody as quick as Darrell.
Andre Darrell is eager to challenge the king, Arthur Abraham.
He's going to get himself 3 points.
But the tournament leader is determined to stay on top. Darrell versus Abraham. Stage 2 of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic starts Saturday, March 27th at 10:30. Only on Showtime.
All right, a defense for Vic Darchinyan. Nobody would believe otherwise. He said he would flash his skills. He went 12 rounds against a guy who would not go away. And arguably didn't win a round, but never stopped trying. And there you see him, Rodrigo Guerrero, his United States debut in a world title fight against one of the most vicious punchers in boxing. Darchinyan landed clean shots that were flush. And you can see the damage here, but at least he finished standing, Rodrigo Guerrero, as we get the official word from Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of action, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, C.J. Roth scores the bout 118 to 110. Marty Denkin scores at 117 to 111. And Max DeLuca sees it 120 to 108. All three in favor of the winner and still champion, the Raging Bull, Vic Darchinyan.
No surprises there. Vic Darchinyan retains his WBA, WBC Super Flyweight Championships. He had given up his IBF crown to move up and challenge at 118 pounds. And here we see a clinic put on by the champion, the left-hander, as he continues to sink in shots and catch the...
Everything in our lives will change. You and I aren't so different, Bill. We want what's best for our families.
Papa, what a fight we have for you in the 140-pound weight class. You know, you take a look at Devin Alexander.